Good evening everyone, we are the Group 4. Today we will discussing about ecological systems theory by Yuri Bronfenbrenner. Who is Yuri Bronfenbrenner? Yuri Bronfenbrenner was a Russian-American psychologist who became one of the most influential figures in the field of developmental psychology. He is best known for creating the ecological systems theory, which explains how a person's development is affected by different layers of environment, from family and school to culture and society. Key facts about him. His full name is Yuri Bronfenbrenner. He was born on April 29, 1917 in Moscow, Russia. He died on September 25, 2005 in Ithaca, New York, USA. His profession, developmental psychologist and professor at Cornell University. His major contribution, founder of ecological systems theory. And the goal of his work, to show that a child's growth and behavior depend not only on personal factors, like a personality or intelligence, but also in interactions with the environment such as family, school, community, and culture.
What is ecological systems theory? So Bronfenbrenner's ecological systems theory explains that an individual's development is shaped by interconnected environmental systems, from immediate surroundings like family to broader societal structures like culture. Then, in simple terms, Bronfenbrenner's believe that children don't grow up in isolation, they are shaped by the people, institutions, and events around them. His work helped people to understand how family, society, and time all influence human development.
Next is the five ecological systems. Bronfenbrenner in 1977 suggested that the child's environment is a nested arrangement of structures, each contained within the next. He organized them in order of how much of an impact they have on a child. He named these structures the microsystem, mesosystem, exosystem, macrosystem, and the chronosystem. Because the five systems are interrelated, the influence of one system on a child's development depends on its relationship with the others.
So first is the microsystem in Bronfenbrenner ecological systems theory. The microsystem is the first and closest level in Bronfenbrenner's ecological system theory, which explains how different environments influence a person's growth and development. Why is the microsystem the closest in Bronfenbrenner ecological system theory? It's called the closest because it's involved the immediate environment where a person has direct contact and daily interactions. This means it includes the people and places that surround a person every day, such as a family, friends or peers, teachers and school, neighborhood or community. Are the people who have the strongest and most direct effect on how a person thinks, feels, and behaves. Example, when parents are loving and supportive, the children grows up confident, kind, and motivated to learn. But if a children is bullied by friends or don't get support at home, it can lead to low self-esteem and emotional struggles. In short, the microsystem is the closest to the individual because it's where the person personally lives, communicates, and experiences life every day. That's why it has the most direct and powerful influence on their development compared to the other layers of Bronfenbrenner theory.
The second type of ecological system theory is what we call the mesosystem. This theory refers to the interactions between different parts of a person's immediate environment, such as home, school, and peers. For example, When a child's parents regularly communicate with teachers and get involved in school activities, it creates a positive connection between the home and school. This relationship helps the child perform better academically and develop good behavior, showing how the mesosystem influences a person's growth and development. And besides home and school, the mesosystem also includes other connections, such as how a child's friends interact with their family, how religious institutions coordinate with schools, and how coaches or extracurricular mentors communicate with teachers or parents. So, why the mesosystem matters? Understanding the mesosystem highlights that a child development doesn't occur in isolation. It is shaped not only by the environments they are part of, but also by how those environments work together. The more harmonious and positive the relationships between these settings, the more likely the child will thrive academically, socially, and emotionally.
The ecosystem refers to the social setting that do not directly involve individual but still influence their development. These are environments that indirectly affect a person's experience through people or institutions that are part of their microsystem. Example: a child's development can be affected by their parents' workplace. If the parent has a stressful job or loses employment, it can influence how the parent interact with their child at home, even though the child is not directly involved in the workplace.
In simple terms or in short, the ecosystem includes things that don't directly involve you but still affect your life indirectly through people close to you, like parents, teachers, or neighbors.
So, for example, let's say your mother's workplace decide to make her work overtime. You're not part of her job, but because she become home tired or stressed, it affects how she spend time with you. So her workplace ecosystem affect your life and development indirectly.
The next ecological system theory is the macro system. The macro system theory is the outermost layer that includes the cultural values, customs, laws, and social systems that influence a person's development. So when we say cultural values, these are the shared beliefs and ideals that guides behavior. And when we say customs, these are the traditional practices and ways of life. And when we say laws, these are the rules set by the government to maintain order that needs to be followed by the people. And the social systems, these are the institutions like a family, school, and religion that shapes development. So these factors shapes how individuals think, behave, and develop based on the larger culture and society where the person or where the child live in that environment. Let's say, for example, a child growing up in a culture that values education will be encouraged to study hard and achieve academic success. It is because the child sees her or his environment that the people there are valuing education, and he could be encouraged or he could be like them because that's the environment nga always niya nga gaka-encounter or gakakita diha nga place kung asa siya nakapuyo. Another example to understand the macro system is that a child growing up in the Philippines is influenced by the Filipino culture values such as respecting or respect for elders, like saying po and opo. And this behavior is the practices of the Filipino people. Again, the macro system theory is the outermost layer that influences a person's development, and also it shapes how individuals think, behave, and interact based on the beliefs and norms of the society where the child lives in.
And now let's talk about the Chronos system. The Chronos system, it refers to the dimension of time and how life changes or events influence a person's development over time. It includes major life transitions or historical events, such as a parent's divorce, moving to a new place, or growing up during a pandemic, which can have lasting effects on an individual's growth. In simple words, the Chronos system is about how the things that happen in our life over time helps shape who we are. Big changes or events like moving to a new place or our parents separating can affect how we feel, how we act, and how we grow as a person. An example of the Chronos system is when a child experiences their parents' divorce or grows up during the COVID-19 pandemic, as these life events and changes over time can affect the child's emotional, social, and overall development. So as said, the one good example of the Chronos system is what we all experienced during the COVID-19 pandemic, when face-to-face classes is suddenly stopped and we shift into online classes. So that time, it was a big change for us. We felt stressed, bored, and even lonely because we couldn't see our classmates or teachers in person. But as time passed, we learned to adjust. We became more familiar with technology, learned to manage our time, and became more responsible with our studies. So it shows how an event that happens over time, like the pandemic, can influence our emotions, habits, and growth. So the current system reminds us that time and experience really shape who we are. Even difficult moments can help us grow and adapt.